I mean, maybe I'm just too caught in all the losses and just how miserable it's been this year.
It's a lot of losses.
And maybe once you hit the offseason, I'll feel more that way. I don't feel that way yet.
You don't feel that way, but I think if you actually played it out, you might, because we've done a lot of, even with the recent opponents.
That's true. Would you rather be this team or that team? We take the
Pats or
Patriots all
Colts,
the time.
Pats or Jets, like a lot of these
Pats
teams.
Or
like
Dolphins.
Pats or Dolphins, Pats.
Right.
So I think it is more Pats than not.
That's true.
Right. Yeah. Just because it's Drake Maye. Now, you can't waste next year. You can't be like, you know what, we feel like Jalen Polk's going to take that step up, and we really like Javon Baker. It's like, no, you don't.
This is why I don't think Mayo's a lock to return, and I think Curran hinted at that yesterday. Wolf is safer than Mayo. Oh, he is? Wow, that's shocking to me.
Yeah.
I feel like that just got slipped in there, and we certainly reacted to it yesterday, but that just kind of slipped in there yesterday. Oh, yeah, by the way, I think Elliott Wolf's safer than Gerard Mayo. Huh? Interesting. So Mayo's not so safe. And maybe this is why.
Okay.
And this is a good text on the new text line. 617-779-7937.
How easy is that?
Just one number.
It's great.
Call us. Text us on it.
Put it in your phone.
I don't know if these are new texters or not. I don't really know what we're witnessing here.
Hard to say.
But keep sending them in. This is a good point. Dump Mayo, hire Vrabel. If there was ever a reason for Kraft to move on from Mayo after 1 year, that would be the reason.
Before Vrabel gets scooped up by somebody else.
Yes, he's compared it to his wives, and he had this 5 years ago, and he's never going to move on after 1 year. How embarrassing would that be? Well, what if you really did like Vrabel a year ago, but you had already committed to Gerard Mayo, and you never thought Vrabel was going to be available? Now it's in writing with Mayo. Vrabel is going to get scooped up, I think, this offseason. So what if you look at it and go, this is our chance to get Vrabel. We like him. He was hobnobbing in the owner's box last year. You were already committed to Mayo. You had to go with Mayo. You contractually had to do it. Now you don't.
How about this?
Mayo's got the job. Blow him out. Vrabel's there. You can bring him in. This is your one chance to get him. That's why they do it. Isn't that the answer?
Yeah. We might have cracked the case. I believe it was in All the President's Men.
Yeah.
Great film.
Woodward and Bernstein.
Follow the money.
Okay.
So, Gerard Mayo had in his contract, I have to be the next head coach, and if I'm not, you owe me, was it $10 million?
Yeah,
there's different reports on it.
Whatever it is, but some sort of payout for not hiring him.
So
exactly.
Kraft at that time put it in thinking that Mike Vrabel was the head coach with the Titans and was probably going to be the head coach for a while with the Titans. Things were going pretty well with the Titans.
Didn't think Vrabel was going anywhere, right?
So he feels like, all right, I have to move on from Bill now after a 4-win season. Kraft's talked all about it. We've talked all about it. So he moves on from him. And is it cheaper in the long run to hire Mayo for this year, pay him whatever you're paying him, then let him go and pay out the contract, or give him the $10 million or whatever plus bring in Vrabel? Like, I don't know. I don't know what the number is. I don't know how it all works out.
Well,
but is it cheaper a little bit to do it this way?
It might be.
Maybe that's another reason why.
It might be. And I know you're talking purely financial, but then add in, and this is financial, what tickets were going on the secondary market for less than $30 last week.
So that's going to sting. That's going to hurt.
And now you're going to sign up for another year of that, and that's like get-in price for the 300 level. But you saw it. You saw on the it was a close game at the end, and at one point they cut, and the whole top bowl felt like it was empty.
Yeah.
Okay? So he is feeling that. Mm-hmm. There is a damage to the brand that's going on with Gerard Mayo. It is damaging whatever was left of the Patriots brand. And so he is going to feel that financial sting, and you run the risk of wasting another year of Drake Maye.
Yeah, you can't.
So that's the way you do it, and that's the way you justify it. Well, I believed in Gerard Mayo. I never thought Mike Vrabel was going to be available. I also believe in Mike Vrabel.
Yeah.
And we didn't want to miss out on an opportunity because he was going to get a job. That's how you justify it.
I think if you move on from the head coach, do you end up moving on from both coordinators too? I mean, isn't that kind of the thing? Like if Vrabel comes, like you blow everybody out.
Maybe Van Pelt survives, but yeah, you're blowing everybody.
I mean, there really are a lot of different scenarios here, and we've kind of both chalked it up to they're probably going to lose out. Like they're probably going to be 3-14.
If you're not beating the Colts, you're not winning.
So if you're 3-14, I mean, I think Robert Kraft's almost forced to make some sort of change. If they somehow squeak out a win or 2 wins, I know that's a lot. But if they squeak out 2 wins.
Okay, 2 wins in the final month. Like, to me, 1 win is whatever. Maybe they beat Buffalo when they're laying down. 2 wins.
So let's say you beat Arizona.
You won 2 of your final 4. Is that enough of an upswing to save jobs? Maybe.
But what if it's Arizona? Let's play it out. It's Arizona, and then it's Week 18, Bills have nothing to play for, backup quarterback.
Yeah,
do they count that?
That still might be
Maye
enough.
would. Maye would be like, hey, 5 wins, 5 wins. I told you more than 4.
I mean, look.
Josh Allen didn't play.
All the betting apps are going to count it for the over 4.5.
Yeah.
So that might be enough to save jobs. Yeah.
So maybe then you kind of trot it back, and then you would at least have the up. That would be the sell, though. It was year 1. Drake Maye didn't even play every game, and we won more games than we did last year. So if we can improve next year, like then we're putting ourselves in a position. However, if you win 3 after, certainly they all expected to win more games. I know like a lot of like what's coming out of there now is, well, Kraft knew it was going to be a rebuild, and Kraft knew it was going to be
It was going to be awful.
No, they didn't think they didn't think it was going to be this.
Not this bad. Even if you thought, we've made this point a million times, even if you thought they were going to win 3 games at this point, which maybe you did, you didn't think it was going to be the Mayo clown show that it's been. You definitely didn't expect that.
Did not anticipate that. And also, like, the cut that we always play from last January when Mayo was on with Greg talking about, like, oh, we're going to win more than 4 games, I guarantee it. That one.
Put me on record.
But it's like the way he says it, it's like 4 is such a low number. Yeah. Like, seriously, like, you're 4 wins.
Laughable that we would win fewer than 4 games.
Right. And then now this is the reality. Like, you're staring at it right now. You're going to win less than 4 games.
And it turns out you are a joke. Keefe, you brought this up yesterday after the show.
Yeah.
I did not realize this. So the Patriots were one of the worst teams in 2023. They remain
sure were.
one of the worst teams in 2024. So all the teams that sucked last year and were at the top of the draft and were bad teams must all be terrible again, right?
Turns out no, Jones. The NFL prides itself on parity, worst to first, things like that. Teams, miss the playoffs by several games, can be in the playoffs the next year. Teams that are in the Super Bowl can miss the playoffs the next year. So if you look at the 5 worst teams from last year, there were only 5 teams in the NFL that had 5 or fewer wins a year ago.
Okay.
So in reverse order, at 5-12 was the LA Chargers. The LA Chargers were 5-12. They fired their coach. They brought in a new coach, and they are already
8-5.
8-5.
8-5.
They're 8-4.
Excuse me, 8-4. Strike that from the record.
8-4.
They have already, with still a month to go, won 3 more games than a year ago. They're trending towards being a playoff team.
One of the 5 worst teams in the league.
The team drafting right after you.
Yep. They moved on from.
I'm sorry, that's not true. A few spots after you.
And they even moved on from Keenan Allen. They moved on from Austin Eckler, 2 of their better players. I know they're older. Yep. They drafted a rookie in the receiver in the 2nd round. Who looks pretty good.
Yeah.
No, and then they got a new coach.
They traded with the Patriots to get that guy. Yep.
So they will be in the playoffs. Okay. The Arizona Cardinals were 4-13 last year.
It's bad.
They're now 6-6.
Oh, so they've already won 2 more games.
Already won 2 more games and have a coin flip chance of winning their division. I know it's not a great division, but they have a chance of being a playoff team.
Right now, they're tied for the lead in their division. Could be a playoff team. Could also make it potentially as a wild card.
So Chargers are going to be in the playoffs. The Cardinals could be in the playoffs.
Sure.
Another one of the worst teams last year was the Washington Commanders. They went 4-13.
Woof.
They are currently 8-5. They drafted right in front of you, took a quarterback, started him day 1. They also got a new coach. And they are 8-5, and I think will be a playoff team. Probably a wild card team, but they'll be a playoff team. And then the other one outside of you was the Carolina Panthers. They were 2-15 a year ago. They made a head coaching change. They're 3-9, and some would call them frisky.
Okay, well, this is my point about them. They feel like they are. We were saying this a few weeks ago about the Patriots, so maybe, and we were wrong. So maybe we'll be wrong about the Panthers too. But evaluating it in real time, it feels like they're on the upswing. They took Tampa to overtime last week. They lost, but they took them to overtime. They were leading the Chiefs with 30 seconds to go. So it feels like they're on the upswing. And to your point, they've already won more games than a year ago, while the Patriots are trending to win fewer.
They have 5 more games to play, and they've already won more games. So basically the point is the 5 worst teams in the NFL last year, 4 of them have already won more games.
4 out of the 5.
4 out of the 5.
Wow.
And 3 of them, 3 of them, I would say, 2 of them are locks for the playoffs. A third could get in the playoffs from being in the bottom 5 a year ago. Patriots were also in the bottom, drafted a quarterback who's good. So it's not like, we got Anthony Richardson or like son of a gun, we got, one of the, Jake Locker. Like, no, you got a good quarterback. And you bungled it. And you even switched coaches because you're like, hey, 4 wins, let's change the coaches. I was like, remember the Mayo cut that we played all the time last week about, like, we never thought we could change the culture here. Did Jim Harbaugh or Dan Quinn or Dave Canales, did any of those guys change the culture?
Instant overnight
They're all
change.
They're all much better.
Mm-hmm.
All of them are much better.
Mm-hmm. I mean, certainly two. Maybe Canales you could debate, but certainly two of them are overnight better. Yeah.
I mean, I think Canales, I think the Panthers are, at least, like you said, trending in the right direction. They were dead last a year ago with 2 wins. They currently have 3, which is not anything to throw a parade about, but I don't know. Maybe they squeeze out another win by the end of the year, or not. They played 2 close games, Chiefs and Bucks. So
and it feels like they've salvaged Bryce Young to a degree, which I wouldn't have said a month and a half ago.
But it just goes to show you how teams that are in this state that the Patriots are in right now, the very next year can be a lot better. Like 2 years in a row with this is tough for fans.
The 5 worst teams in the NFL last year, 4 of them have already won more games than they did a year ago.
Yeah.
The only team that hasn't, the Patriots.
That's right.
Why is that? Why has everyone else gotten better and the Patriots somehow have gotten worse?